Hello, this is Lasagna, and thank you for joining me on my weekly podcast, The God is Key. And tonight I will share a little bit of information about me and my journey into womanhood, femininity, and spiritual development, possibly if time will permit. But I'm originally from Atlanta. I lived in New York and Arizona. I lived in New York for 5 years and Arizona for four. The part of Arizona was outside of Phoenix, about 45 minutes outside of Phoenix. And in New York, I lived in the Bronx. So I have three wonderful young men. One will be 28 in June. The other one is 15. And I have one that will be 8 in June. So all boys. I am the only child of two parents here in Atlanta, and had a pretty much normal upbringing, normal childhood in a middle class African American family. So, what has brought me to do these podcasts? Of course, I feel like this is my purpose that the Creator has guided me to. I've been seeking for quite some time and just felt out of place. I knew that working in corporate America was not what I was supposed to be doing. I could remember in New York just thinking and praying one day that it has to be something more that I'm supposed to be doing to serve the world other than doing accounting, because I've been doing accounting for 20 years now. And I have been not so happy in that area, but I am blessed and grateful that I do have employment, but it hasn't been fulfilling. So within my journey to discover who I am and what my life purpose is, here I am on this podcast. And growing up, I grew up in the church, just as many of us have. And when I was 25, I converted to Islam. And Islam was my main base, because when I was like 11, 10 or 11, I stopped going to church. I didn't like going to church. I hated going to church. Anytime I went to church, I just was not a good girl. Let's just put it that way. And when I became 10 or 11, where I was old enough to stay at home by myself, my mom, she didn't make me go. So when I became 25, I felt like something was missing. I needed some kind of foundation, spiritual foundation. And so I joined the Nation of Islam, and then I went to the regular Sunni Islam. And that has put me on this journey to end up to be a spiritual person, where I study a facet of things, whether it's from Hoodoo, Wiccan, Kemetic science, which is the main one that I study, Ifa, Yoruba, you name it. I've researched and studied some portion of it to come up with my own thing that helps me to become a better person, a better daughter, friend, mother, eventually wife to my partner. So, what has put me on this path of femininity is that once I went through this hard divorce, I had to step back and look at myself to see where did I go wrong, because we were Muslims and we have a code and a lifestyle that we are supposed to live or lead. And how did this happen? How did my Muslim husband end up being with someone outside of the marriage, not just once, but twice that I know of. And where did it break down? What happened? It couldn't have been just him alone. It had to be something. And I wanted to evaluate myself, so when I did go into another relationship, that I had healed and developed into what a partner really needs. Now, not to say that you can be the best woman, you can have a lot of feminine qualities, but sometimes people will just do what they do. They will cheat, they will lie. They're just going to do what they want to do. But for me, on this journey, on this path, I come to find out or discover about myself that one, I was controlling. Two, I could be aggressive in my thought process and how I did things on a daily basis. Um, I was not allowing him to lead in the marriage because I had been on my own for so long. And then he was from West Africa. He hadn't really been in the country. And I did not feel comfortable allowing him to lead me with him not being here for very long, not really knowing the ways of America. And it just set this trend or set the foundation of how the relationship was going to go. And it never shifted to where once he had been here for some time to allow him to take the leadership role. There's a lot of factors that plays into it too. And I also was starting to pull away from Islam, and that became an issue as well. But throughout my journey, I came across this book. This is from a book called 21 Days of Femininity. And I'm just going to read a little bit from the book to share what I considered that I fell into within carrying masculine energy. Even though I was very feminine on the outside and I had some feminine qualities, the masculinity or the masculine way of doing things in which society teaches us as women of how to conduct ourselves was more prevalent than my feminine qualities. So, of course, we pretty much know, and what I'm getting ready to read, but I'm going to share it with you. Your heart is your inner guidance, your intuition. Your heart is connected to the divine essence of the creator, both masculine and feminine. The heart gives its guidance when the mind is still. Femininity attracts many wonderful things in your life. It not only brings a masculine man into your life, it radiates the energy into every aspect of your life, bringing about peace, joy, sensuality, attractiveness, healthy relationships, spiritual development, and admirations. A masculine man wants a feminine woman because her presence makes him feel like a king. A masculine man needs to be a leader in the relationship in order to be happy. A masculine man becomes, I'm sorry, a masculine woman becomes his competition, not his companion. When she is masculine, she becomes possessive, controlling, aggressive, pursuant, and afraid of vulnerability. And polarities disappear. Vulnerability is what creates a deep connection, attraction, and desire for a man. Polarity is the spark. Polarity is the passion. Polarity is magnetism. Sexual attraction goes beyond looks. You can be an attractive woman with womanly appearances and dress and and put out masculine energy. You are a man in woman's attire. In these cases, masculine men are not able to balance their energy with you because you do not have feminine energy or enough of it. This is why masculine women often get used for sex by masculine men. They cannot connect with you on the energy level, so they connect with you on a superficial level of lust. So if you find yourself in a lot of friends with benefit situations, one night stands, or situation relationships, you should you have been operating in a masculine energy. So for me, again, it was more so of being possessive, controlling, and aggressive. I can say that I was vulnerable at times when things started to go a certain way, or I didn't feel it was a certain way. I tried to make him do things that he didn't want to do or I didn't understand. And I also wanted one of the best qualities uh, um, a female can do is to learn how to be silent. And that was something that I did not know how to do at the time because I was in my late 30s and hadn't really developed how to sit and be silent within your feminine energy. Fem- uh, a man is about communication of the upper chakra, so the throat chakra, the um, the crown, and the third eye. The female operates on the lower chakra, so the lower three chakras, the root, the creative, and the solar plexus, where the stomach lies. So, and that is about silence. And again, when in this beginning of this excerpt from the book, the heart is guided when the mind is silent. And I will just add when the voice is silent as well. So we will get more in depth about feminine energy throughout this podcast series. I just wanted to come on and speak briefly about myself, about a little bit about feminine energy and where we're going to go. It will not all be about feminine energy, as I stated in my introduction podcast earlier this week. So I hope you stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this podcast this Wednesday, and I look forward to additional podcasts. And please share with your friends, share with your family, and let's talk and let's step ourselves into womanhood to attract the things that we deserve and desire. Okay, peace and blessings.